Hello everybody. Travis here for Tpull's Corner, and my opponent is, you, I guess? My opponent is you. The name of this deck is called Unusual Demons. It's centered around Unholy. A lot of you should be familiar with this card by now, right? Beginning of your end step, draw a card. If you control a demon, each opponent loses 2 life, you gain 2 life. Otherwise, you lose 2 life. So you draw a card no matter what. But you need the demon to gain the life instead of lose the life. There's a lot of well-known demons that are usually associated with mono-black decks in this game. So, you know, I've made those. But there are other demons in the game. And it's demons against turtle birds. Does that seem fair? We'll find out. This is going to be published later than I planned, but we had to go to a funeral of somebody in our family who died, so that took priority. Let's go ahead and just play the tap land out for now. If they have 3 to spare, they can get 4 power, and they do. And we don't really have anything that'll beat that, so let's just bring out the Annex now. And see if the extra card draw will help us draw into something that'll help clear us of this problem. This turtle duck's going to kill us by itself. We've got at least 3 colors and the ability to possibly do 4 or 5. And this kind of goes with the way that I've been facing things for quite a while now. Just in terms of overpowered cards that I think should have been banned. That the opponents always seem to have on turn 3 or turn 4. Get some card draw out of that too. I'm going to pass. We'll take that hit. And I guess we'll just do our board wipe. I'm going to have to reopen the Unholy Annex. Never mind. They're ready for that too. What is this? Bark of Duran. I'm not familiar with this one yet. New card. As long as equipped creature's toughness greater than power, assigns... Okay, that's a very common kind of tactic. I don't usually see it on an artifact. Let's bring down the Fiendish Panda. And we can go ahead and station it as well. So that becomes a 5/5. Let's just get rid of the 5/5, shall we? Consume by greed, make some sacrifice. And we can also bring down other stuff. So we shall. Alright, the opponent's exhausted most of their ammo controlling me up to this point. Does this happen only during their combat or during every combat? It's during every combat. So... they can't attack. So we're just going to fly over it. And we'll station the one on the ground that can't get through. And you see as we go to combat, Arena shows us the temporary power that it has. Oh, hello. It killed my panda! We'll just equip the Harvester then. I guess technically it would have been smarter for me to wait and station the Harvester later if I knew I was going to power it up higher. That's what we wanted. Since the Harvester is a changeling, it has the shapeshifter ability, so this is a demon. Does it look like a demon? It kinda does. Let's also bring down our Fiendish Panda, which is also a demon, and because we're going to gain life from the annex, the panda's going to get a +1 on it. And if it dies, we can get the other panda back. Pandas beget pandas. Demons beget demons. And this is the idea in a nutshell. Most of the creatures that we have, not all of them, you know, Wekdu's an insect villain, Umbral Zealot's human. But a lot of the stuff that we have that's the rest in here, they either act like demons, they are demons already, or you can turn them into demons. But a lot of these aren't the normal cards that you would expect to see paired with Unholy Annex. So I'm pretty confident that there isn't another deck list out there that looks quite like this one. What do you take? They take the panda and not the annex. I'm actually a little surprised by that, because this lets us have a 6/6 demon. And they don't have reach. They have vigilance. Not quite the same thing. I can still fly over their head and get them. Turtle wasn't going to help. More card draw there. That's kind of good for us. Just in case they have something that can kill one of these, we can get a card draw out of it instead. And they knew they couldn't stop us from going over the top. Well, that's better than the first couple of games I played today. Arena's been giving everybody else their win conditions so far. But finally, our dog had it today. Okay, so 4 copies of Unholy Annex and Ritual Chamber. It's fun to see the way they design these rooms so that if you banish them, when they come back, it's not like the rest of the creature cards or a regular enchantment where it automatically takes effect. You actually need to pay for the effect all over again, which is actually not a bad idea, because maybe you could get a 6/6 demon creature flying twice, and it gives me an idea on a blink deck that I want to do with these. But that's a different deck configuration for a different time. Most of the demons that you see are like the really big bad demons that are mono black. In this we did an Orzhov deck, white and black, and this is what we ended up with. We've got one Basri, Tomorrow's Champion, a legendary Human Knight. Wait a second, he shouldn't be in there. I start to read off the cards and I'm like, something is not right here. Somehow I accidentally clicked on him and got him in here. There are no cats. The cats are not demons. And I'm only supposed to have 60 cards in this deck, I know that. Okay, there. Now our deck list is right. 4 Possessed Goats. They're just 1/1s. For 3 you can discard a card, put 3 +1/+1 counters on it, becomes a black demon. So a lot of times when you put down the Unholy Annex is kind of your appetite for how much life can you afford to lose until your demon is ready. Depending on how the board state looks and what part of the game you're in, you may want to put down the goat first and turn it into a demon before you cast Unholy Annex. Maybe you're comfortable with doing the Annex, getting the card draw, and being ready to turn the goat into a demon next turn. All depends. Every situation is different. We have Corrupted Conviction, so if we don't have enough mana to turn it into a demon and we just put down the 1/1 and they decide they don't want to wait, your opponent doesn't want to wait for this to become a 3/3, especially if you do have Unholy Annex out and they understand what's about to happen. You can just do Corrupted Conviction, get rid of the 1/1, get 2-card draw. You don't feel bad about losing the goat. You can also use the goat to sacrifice this for Eaten Alive in case you don't have enough mana. If you do want to wait, that's 5 total mana to exile a target creature or planeswalker, or you can just sacrifice a goat and pay 1 black mana and still do the same thing. For when we want to protect our demons, we have a Demi of the Silk Shoots, legendary Spider Human hero. This is from the Through the Omen Pass. You can flash it in, get a 3/2 that it can gain flying for the cost of 1 mana, or you can sacrifice it. Creatures you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of the turn. I've got 1 Cathar Commando. This is a reprinted card, but it's in Foundations. 3/1, you flash it in as well. There's a lot of flash cards in here. I can sacrifice the creature, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Hopeful Vigil. When the enchantment enters, create a 2/2 White Knight creature token with Vigilance. When it's put into the graveyard, I get to scry 2, and if I want to sacrifice it myself, I can. Umbral Caller Zealot, Human Cleric, sacrifice another creature or artifact, and I can surveil 1. So again, this is, you don't feel really bad if somebody's about to kill your goat, and instead you sacrifice it to this cleric. 3 Tree Mascots, these all have Changeling. They're all shapeshifters. So they all trigger the Unholy Annex and allow us to get the card draw in the life gain instead of the life loss. They also have this mana ability, add 1 mana of any color. We don't usually need to use that. We have 4 copies of Infernal Vessel. This is the Human Cleric. Comes down as a 2/1 for 3 mana. When it dies, if it wasn't a demon already, it comes back to the battlefield with 2+1/+1 counters and becomes a demon. So yet again, just like the goats, they're not a demon to start with, but they become one. If it's already a demon and it dies, then it just goes to the graveyard, doesn't come back. For removal, we have 1 copy of Tribute to Hunger. I have 2 copies of Consumed by Greed to make them sacrifice a creature with the greatest power among creatures they control. And I have 1 board wipe, Blasphemous Edict. Each player sacrifices 13 creatures of their choice. Gets really cheap if there are 13 or more creatures already on the battlefield. Then you just play 1 black mana. But that's right. I only have that with Eaten Alive. That's 5 removal spells. That's it. We have Wekdu, Midnight Hunter. This is a flash card again, but also a mayhem card. And that's part of to help me with Possessed Goat, because you have to discard a card for 3 mana in order to get the demon out of it. So if I just have 4 mana, I could then still flash this in as a 2/2 flyer for only 1 black mana. So I've got 2 of those. It's good if you're coming up against all flyer decks to have that. I've got 2 more Changelings, the Barkform Harvester. You saw they have reach, so also thinking against flyers. They're also shapeshifters, so again, they count for the Annex. So I got a number of these artifact creature shapeshifter changeling things that count. We've got Stitcher's Wings. This is another one to help me with the Possessed Goats. If it's cast from your graveyard, you can attach it immediately to a creature you control. So if I have 5 mana, I can spend 3, discard this due to the Possessed Goat, turn the Possessed Goat into a 3/3 demon, and give it +2 and give it flying and haste. So you've got a 5/3 flying goat demon instead, all in 1 turn. It's kind of nice. 4 copies of the Fiendish Panda. And we've got 4 of the Scarred Barons there to gain a life point. So we got a little bit of life gain apart from the Unholy Annexes themselves. But the Panda will activate the Unholy Annex if it wasn't before. So you'll automatically be getting these life gain points. And when the dies, return another target non-bear creature with mana value less than or equal to this creature's power from your graveyard to the battlefield. Which reminds me, I was thinking for a second I could use 1 Panda to get the other back. It has to be a non-bear creature card. So the fun thing is, I don't think you can bring back the artifact creatures that are shapeshifters because they count as bears. So it has to be non-bears. So we can't bring back a whole lot of other creatures, but we can bring back our goats. And we can bring back our final creature, Veto Fanatic of Aklazotz. Legendary Vampire Demon from the Ixalan expansion. 4/4 flyer. Whenever you sacrifice another permanent, you gain 2 life if it's the first time you did it. If it's the second time for the turn, the opponent loses 2 life, which is suddenly looking a lot like the Unholy Annex card. If it's the third time you sacrifice something in a row in the same turn, you get a 4/3 white and black vampire demon creature token with flying. So Vito himself counts as a demon. He creates demons. We've got possible ways with something like the Umbral call it Zeller to, since it doesn't cost energy and we don't have to tap it to sacrifice, we could sacrifice 3 artifacts or creatures whenever we bring Vito down and trigger them on the same turn. So it makes for a fun combo. And remember, as always, with these Unholy Annexes, we can make it a self-fulfilling prophecy as well, because for 5 mana we can get our own demon creature that we need, the 6/6 token flyer you see pictured there to the right. For specialty lands here, we've got Realm of Ko, so we can create colorless spirit creature tokens, these 1/1 wolf-looking things, and that's good sacrificial fodder as well for Vito, or if we just want to surveil with the Zealot. We've got a Susur Secundi, Void Altar, can pay 2 life, sacrifice creature, draw cards equal to the sacrifice creature's power. So this can be fun too sometimes if you feel like you're out of ammo and your Fiendish Panda is big, but they have a board that sufficiently stops you from attacking with the Panda. Maybe you get him up to like a 7 or 8. You could sacrifice it, draw 7, 8 cards, and maybe you'll have a better chance to do something other than just having the one creature on the board. Just giving you little tips on things that you can do with this particular deck. Restless Fortress, of course, so we can turn that into a 1/4 nightmare creature. And their defending player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life again. It's interesting how many patterns you spot in terms of this. You don't normally think in Magic of gaining 2 life and them losing 2 life necessarily. It's usually 1 for 1. But I seem to have found a lot of the cards that are all 2 for 2 in the way that I organize this deck. 1 Demolition Field to take care of their special lands, and 1 Pit of Offerings to exile things from their graveyard. So that's why we call it Unusual Demons, because we're using a bunch of demons, but it's not the usual suspects that come along with the Unholy Annex card. And that's sort of the advantage of this being a smaller channel. I get to be counter-programming. By the time, since I'm a free-to-play player, by the time I get all the cards, all the regular, easy-to-plan-for deck construction has already been done by the people that have the full deck the first day it comes out. But that gives me time to think of what other ways would we do things other than the main stuff that the internet's already figured out for you. And the nice thing is that a lot of times they just actually work. A lot of times when Arena decides that it's through letting me win, it buries the Unholy Annex card. So I've had occasions where I started counting cards and I'm like 23 cards in and there's still no sign of even 1 copy of Unholy Annex. Going on here, Possibility Technician, Edge of Eternity card. Get to exile it, huh? Alright. First Blood is ours. We're doing okay. We've got possible way to sacrifice the goat in case they put out something really devastating against us. But they've got access to 3, 4 colors already. Do we bring out the wings? I don't think we do. I think we just swing in and attack. If I get some more energy, I could maybe go ahead and turn this into a demon and still get this back. So I need 2 more lands to do all that. And they are tapped out to do that. Let's go ahead. We'll sacrifice our goat to get rid of that. And I don't really have a need to have that again for Eaten Alive. I don't have a way to get that back, so that will at least allow me to have a color for Pit of Offerings rather than it be colorless. That's kind of a gross card. Do we get rid of everybody? Just block. I don't like that card though. Do you think they have another one right behind it that's exactly the same? Let's just sacrifice everybody, since it's indestructible. You got a Day of Judgment for exiled cards? They get to Earthbend 2 at the end of every turn, and I already used my board wipe. And this doesn't go away, they just get to keep that? Well, I need more powerful cards out there. So just put out 1/1s that can't block. So it's not a duplicate Codus, they just resurrected the same one. And they airbended my 1/1. Alright, they'll lose access to the Wrath of God, right? Let's bring back the goat. And let's turn this goat into a 3/3. Put the Stitcher's wings on it. Attack because we're flyers. Get them down to 1 and bring down a 1/1 blocker. We block Codus because of Codus's power. We don't want them to exile our cards. Do they have something to stop the flyer? They have a Day of Judgment. Okay. Interesting. Let's bring down the panda. Bring down the goat. They shouldn't want to attack unless they have a third Day of Judgment. Do you have any other tricks? Destroy all creatures. Well, I get to bring somebody back. Let's bring back a goat. Yeah, that's good enough. That's a lot of board wipes. It's almost half of their spells. Is that the whole thing? Is one copy of Codus and a bunch of board wipes for the rest of your spells? Possessed Goat. Discard Wektu. Flash it in. Wait for this to become a demon. Come on. Hello? It's... Well, it's your attack, it's your turn, take your time. They've got like 5 colors, right? They're returning the board wipe. Pass to the blocker. Let them do the board wipe. Once that resolves, you can cast that. I can flash in this still. You're tapped out. I'm already flying. I don't even need to equip the Sword Ditcher's wings. That was a little scary. I kind of like their deck. That's one of the fun things about the unusual way that I do my deck construction is that every now and then I manage to hit things just weird enough, just strange and a unique configuration that Arena doesn't see from anybody else, that it kind of closes the door on the regular decks that I face, and it opens up this door into a whole nother section of Arena, and I get to start facing opponents and deck styles that I don't normally get to see. I've got a 3/2 I can flash in. I wonder if... That's got escape time. Okay, that's fine. Are they gonna... Oh, they're gonna sacrifice it now. No. It'll just be a trade then. Seems fair. I would rather have the Unholy Annex out first rather than have Blasphemous Edict in hand. But, you know, if they do give me 2 more lands, I guess I won't complain too much, because against stuff like this, I might need some help. I really can't afford to leave the Hydra around. And I don't want them to resurrect it either. Well, that one's exiled from the Eaten Alive spell, but we'll make sure they don't get anything back. Sometimes they get the creature that likes to let them cast land from the graveyard. No reason to let them do that either. And after all that, all those creatures, all that removal, they just get another one that's equally as devastating. Do you have the land? It's not sacrificial land for a change. Never mind, we're getting another land out of this. Another 2 lands. Look at that! And we didn't get our 5th land yet. And they're able to power apart inning. So they use almost everything they got. And I need an untapped land, and I didn't get it. Thank you, Arena, putting me against yet another landfall deck, and making sure I miss a land drop, and getting the one with Trample twice in a row. So even when I defeat the first one, you just throw the other one at me. That's pretty typical against landfall decks. We got dealt cards a little bit out of order there. We could have done so much better if we'd started with the Annex, since I have 4 copies of Unholy Annex and only 1 of Blasphemous Wrath. Yeah, you love it when the landfall decks always hit exactly what they need for their landfall, and we don't. They make sure we miss a land drop. Well, you may pay a little for this. They're going to use Vanishing Light on the mascot. Do they just have an abundance of removal? Let's wait a second. They go for the attack first. Alright. Sacrifice it. What else you got? If they have nothing but exile spells, I could be in trouble as well. We're going to actually hold on to that and see if we can use it to power up our panda. What did they lose? Well, they lost an Olenda. I'm glad about that. Hopefully they don't have a way to get it back. There's another board wipe. Interesting deck construction they have. Let's go put another potential demon on the board. It would be nice to get a land that's not a life with gaining land. Ouch! And they do nothing. So they don't want to give me a demon. Alright, I don't think I can wait. They're not giving me any other land. Now they're willing to kill it. Alright, now I've got 2 demons, so if they kill one, I can still have the other, which means Unholy Annex can finally come down. They take one of the demons. It's a nice little force they have going here. They're looking at my harvester. Do they know? Do they know I have Unholy Annex? Had they figured it out already? Ready or not, here we come. Alright, we get the card draw, we get the life gain. They can still just fly over our head. Instead, they come at us with everybody. What if we get rid of the Pride Mate? The Infernal Vessel comes back, so we still have a demon. Why are they looking at my goat? Okay, fine. Next. Gain 1 life there. Gain 2 life there. And I really need a good draw there. That was not the draw I needed. Alright. Let's try. Consumed by greed. Okay, I do need that. If I bring down this puppy, then gain the life there. Sacrifice it. Ah, it's a tap land. I already played down a land anyway. Alright, they got a lot of life. I don't have a way around this, do I? Oh wait, here we go. Oh, never mind. It's tapped. I needed like one more turn. I didn't quite get the land the way I wanted. Yeah, have fun with that, buddy. They had a lot of removal up front. We did not. But then, I don't have a lot of removal cards. I gotta admit. This one is yet another example and experiment in what I do quite often. I see exactly how well I can make the deck and strip it down to the least usable amounts of removal that I can. And we really went sparingly on this one. So your mileage may vary. You may very well feel the appeal of taking out a couple of cards and putting in a little bit more removal. I wouldn't actually blame you, so if you do want to take this deck out for something like a similar spin, let me know if you do that. Let's scry now. We'll get the white man out. I guess it's too black too. But this lets us get the goat out, and we have a nice little mayhem card. We also have Stitcher's Wings. Let's go ahead and put the goat out now. 2 Restless Reefs already. That could kill us later. Tribute to Hunger is an instant, so maybe that would give us a little edge. If they have removal, they should go after the Fiendish Panda. And throw away Webdo. Get 2 demons here going. Attack. Gonna block one. They return the goat. I get to flash this in whenever I want. If they don't block, I bring my goat back down. It's still a 1/1 now, and no longer a demon. Look at that! They somehow managed to do an exorcism on my possessed goat. It's back to being a goat. I guess we blocked that. They could do a non-creature spell and kill it, though, right? Gross. They're ready for everything, it seems like. Let's see if we can power over their head. This might not work. They've got 5 cards. Everything's been kind of cheap. They exiled the creature. I still have the Stitcher's Wings. Let's get out somebody who's already a flyer. Oh, we have some red now. They can power up those Restless Reefs if they want to now. And they do. And we're not... Oh, there go 2 of my Unholy Annexes? Gross. I'm gonna let that come through. I can power this for only 2. All they need is a Boomerang card, right? Boomerang Basics to return it. What do we got? Oh, they're going to exile the artifact. Interesting. I'm still flying, so I still hit them for the damage. Do they just attack with the Restless Reef? Because if they do, they're going to do 7 damage. Oh, never mind. Alright, you know what? Let's make them get rid of the Flood Caller then. That gains us some life while we're still going to lose our creature. What else can you do? You got 2 mana left. Our board wipe's not going to do anything against the Restless Reefs. They do have a 2-drop. Okay, they can pump this up. They certainly have enough energy. They could make that like a 5-2 if they did nothing else. So I have to block that, but thankfully I have 2 power either way. So even if they have removal, we're still good to go. They milled themselves instead of me. That's unusual, but if they have another Accumulate Wisdom, maybe they want to do it that way. We block the cadets, so the cadets are going to die hopefully no matter what. Is this supposed to be a mirror match? Because I have a lot of flash creatures that they're bringing in flash stuff? Still managing to get a creature out all the time. They can't power off the Restless Reef this time. And they can't block the 1/1. What choices do we have for them to bring stuff back? Fairy Wizard? They bring back both of those. And I think it's okay here to just go ahead and use the clue. And not the greatest thing in the world. It's going to be a 4/4. I don't think it does me any good to try and station things up at this point, though. I just need to stay alive long enough for my 1/1s to do the trick. But they have a nice little spell down here if they want it. I thought Azula Always Lies, they could get a -1/-1. We just get rid of the panda instead. Interesting choices. If they don't have removal, they're dead next turn. I don't care what they do with the Restless Reefs anymore. We don't care about what they can flash in. So what's in their hand in those 3 cards? One's a land. Good news for us. It's not one that gave them life either. Let's hear it for Realm of Ko possibly saving the entire game. Arena didn't bury our Unholy Annexes actually, but we got them milled away. The opponent decided to mill us, and then they milled themselves later. Usually if they've got the lessons, they're usually milling themselves right away. Just to litter their graveyard with lessons so they can get the better card draw. guess we let that go through. I'll get that life point back. And we just run it in. Again, if they have a Boomerang Basics, if they have another one of Azula, that's an instant as well. They use a 5-cost instant, Zuko's Exile, on that. Do they have... what do you got? Okay. One point of damage. In the turn, we still got a 1/1 back. They face the same problem as before. And we drew about the same amount of land. Did they mill any of my land? They only milled one of my lands out. I don't think they have anything that can take out 2 creatures at once. That's just one spell. And they already can't power up the reefs again. This card in and of itself is just so powerful. I mean, I like the fact that they made it so that you can't use these as chump blockers. But just the fact that they can't be blocked, it makes for a very difficult opponent. Sacrifice somebody. There you go. There we go. They tried. It took a long time. They examined every angle. They used all their resources, the maximum they could. But we still got a pack out of it. Alright, we'll do one more. The deck's holding up pretty well. I didn't really bother to build in landfall defenses, so I think landfall still does really good at taking us out. And the normal stuff can get you if they get a good draw on you. For like mill cards can take care of you. Discard could give you a hard time. Discard can actually be kind of fun on the same hand. If you do get some land down and you get some mayhem cards going, you might be able to make them pay for playing discard against you under the right conditions with this particular deck. And we're just running up against all flyers all the time, aren't we? I'm okay to trade that now and forego a 3/3 later. They're not. Gross. Also gross. Don't put it on your flyer. don't put it on your flyer. Anybody except the flyer, because I only have a 2/2 that I can flash in. I want to kill their bat. Ah! Put it on the flyer. Well, of course you did. I guess we'll take that. I'm not sure what to do. I can't flash this in on my turn while Voice of Victory, or on their turn while Voice of Victory is out. And that is gonna hurt. I feel like I have to get rid of Gainsborough now. That still leaves me with a 3/3 I can't take care of. I think we're toast. I need, like, the Unholy Annex now. And I feel like the Unholy Annex has not really made enough of an appearance. Wow. So they got one treasure out of that and nothing else. I guess they don't need anything else. Well, I guess if I got a board wipe, I guess I could survive. I can't flash in Waku still. I can scry, right? Not helpful, not helpful. Okay, come on. Click and drag, click and drag. Why is... Ah, there. We're digging desperately. No way. No way. Just take it. What are you afraid? Oh, never mind. They don't want to take any damage. Alright, we found a way to get rid of the bat and the Voice of Life. It only cost us everything we had. And they still managed to get 2 3/3s out. I guess we have to put something out. Seriously? I just want to block and get rid of Linden. That's a little too much land draw. Jazzle Goldmane. I haven't even seen anybody using this. It's got first strike though. Wekdu is just not enough to counter everything that's come up against me. And Unholy Annex would kill me right now. I'd have to bring out the demon, the 6/6 demon. and then I wouldn't have enough to block with anything. So, yeah, thank you, Arena. You finally brought out the card that I wanted. I did mention when it wants me to lose, it buries the card, right? Just enough for it to be one turn too late. And it didn't matter anyway. Just perfect draws for the life game deck. Alright. Still a pretty good run overall. And if the order, I don't know if I don't really have a good time with that one though, because I don't edit these and put in comments afterward. You're hearing everything real time, so it's not me knowing what already happened and dubbing it in later. It's I've played this game so long that you can spot the patterns, and it's predictable the way they do things to you when they want you to lose. But so just be aware of that. Unholy Annex. We've got enough demons in here that when the card actually shows up and you have enough time to cast it, you can get a really good advantage. It really is better than something like Phyrexian Arena, because meeting the condition is fairly easy with this current environment. And I like the mix of stuff that I have. So overall, we did pretty good in terms of removal cards. We got Blasphemous Edict. We only have 2 copies. We got it in just enough time. You know, if we'd had more removal and fewer creatures, then we wouldn't be able to do some of our tricks with the goats and the mayhem cards and stuff like that. So it's difficult to put other stuff in without having as much fun with the theme of the deck. Maybe you feel comfortable adding in a couple of lands and going over the 60 card limit to add in those removal cards. But as you see, it's kind of like we would need more board wipes just to have any effect, because the way that all of our opponents seem to do things is they just always seem to have more land and more creatures and more ramp, and they always end up with more of everything than we do. Or maybe it's just me with a persecution complex. Either way, let me know if you do take this out for a spin, and if you want to mix it up a little bit and change up the deck configuration, let me know what you do with it. Like and subscribe as always. We'll have something different for you next time. This is Travis signing off. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.